Ooh, hey, all right. I got a package in today from South Central Outboards in Beecher City, Illinois. It's kind of a pleasant surprise because actually scheduled delivery wasn't until tomorrow or Wednesday, I think. But anyways, got this off of eBay. And this should be the correct starter, a good used one for my Tower of Power. It's interesting packing. Looks like the recycled cardboard. Huh. I don't know if they buy it that way or if they actually make it that way. Anyways, other side. What we got here? South Central Outboards, new perspective on used parts. Looks like they got all different kinds of stuff. Our advantages, about us. Alright. Cool beans. Got the business card right here, so I can contact them directly instead of going through eBay now. Well, eBay wouldn't like that, but well. We as a team would like to thank you for purchasing this item. We put more time and effort into cleaning, listing, and shipping parts than any used parts business of any kind, and I believe you will be pleased with the results. Should there be a problem, though, please don't hesitate to contact us so that we can take care of it. Prefer if you email directly or call us should any issue arise. Contact information can be found on business cards and pamphlets. Okay, great. Judging from the feedback rating of this seller, I feel pretty confident that I'm not going to have an issue with this starter. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Alright, so, well, this used starter actually comes with the rubber spacers already on it. That must have been how they took it out. They didn't bother taking the spacers off. So I guess the spacers I was so glad that I scored cheaply. I guess I don't need those after all. I don't know. These aren't dry rotted or anything, so there's no sense in changing them out. I guess I could eBay these. Alright. So you can see the pinion gear, the big difference in the size of the pinion gear on here. So yeah, it makes sense now. Turns nice and free. I was going to bench test this before I installed it, but yeah, I think it's probably a good starter. I don't think that's necessary. I'm going to have a little faith in these guys. All right, I've got the starter all wired up temporarily. So as soon as I touch this wire here to 12 volts, that solenoid is going to close and this starter should spin up. I got a feeling that's going to be loud, hurt my ears, so I'm going to grab some hearing protection. Oh, what a rip. My battery's run down. It wasn't a very good battery to begin with. I guess it just didn't hold a charge, even just sitting there doing nothing. Oh, as luck would have it, I happen to have this battery over at the house to charge it for the Ford tractor, and I hadn't brought it back out and put it in the tractor yet, so I just ran outside and grabbed it. So we're back in business. Okay, no loud banging noises or clanging noises. That's good. Next, we'll do a compression test. So this is my Cal Equipment model 2205 heavy duty compression test kit. And basically what you got is you got your typical compression gauge, but it also comes with an extension hose and several adapters. Okay, so I've threaded the adapter hose into the spark plug hole for cylinder number 1. I'm not sure if it's one on the bottom or one on the top. Doesn't matter. I'm going to call this number 1. And there's an O-ring on there that seals it, so you only have to do it really hand tight. and then there's a quick release fitting here to put the gauge on. And basically what you do is you crank the engine at least 4 compression strokes or until the gauge stops rising, and then you take your measurement. So I know it's upside down, but that's 130 pounds. And you just press the release. Cylinder number 2. 150. Oh, it's higher. Oh, okay, because number 2 was so much higher, I went back and checked number 1 again. And actually, it's not 130 on number 1. Or at least now it's higher. It's just under, looks like it'd probably be 130, 138, 137, somewhere around there. Number 3. That's like 140 on the button. Number 4. That's about 137, 138. Number 5. 145. Now the $1 million question. Am I going to be able to even check number 6? Number 6 is a tough one to get at. There's actually a special service tool, I think, for doing a compression check on number 6. It, must be an adapter that threads in there and allows you to come in at an angle. But because this is actually, normally this would be up here like this, so it makes it really tough. Even getting that spark plug out can be difficult, but because this is dropped down this much, and because this does flex, I do think, by gosh, I think I can get it on. Because I don't want to cross thread or nothing either. Oh, there we go. My understanding of this engine is that if you're going to have a cylinder fail, it's going to tend to be number 1 or number 2, the higher cylinders. Because typically the failure is due to overheating, starvation of cooling water, that kind of thing. So the first cylinders that are going to get the hottest and fail are going to be up here. So we're going to put the gauge. It's in my pocket, of course. Where else? Alright. Number 6. You have the envelope, please. 140. Alright. So just to recap, cylinder number 1 was the lowest at 137, but it was almost a match for number 4 at 138. Number 2 is at 150, number 3 is 140, number 5 is 145, and number 6 is 140. And any of you motorheads out there will know that, well, there's 2 things we're looking for. First, we're looking for it to meet at least a certain minimum requirement, which I don't have a service manual, but I could probably find out online what that should be. But the second thing we're looking for is we'd like to see all of these numbers to be pretty much in line with each other within a certain amount. So basically a certain number plus or minus, maybe with a little bit of tolerance there. So, I think we're all right around 140. A few pounds lower. But that number 2 at 150 is interesting. So I don't know. So we're going to do one more thing before I go up for the night. I just installed all the spark plugs. Just kind of hand tighten them. Just so that when I crank it, there's no freewheeling. Because I just want to hear what this sounds like. I also want to see how well this starter can turn this thing. That sounds nice. So, gotta go leave some positive feedback. Well guys, it's been a while since I've had a chance to come down here and work on the outboard. I actually haven't done much as far as video stuff in the past couple of weeks. Been doing a lot of work outside, yard work, property maintenance, that kind of stuff, and had some yard sales, got rid of some junk. So tonight, don't have much time tonight, but I'm going to try and pull the flywheel off so I can take the alternator out and see if I can attempt, well, I don't have to see if I can attempt, I'm going to see if I can repair the alternator. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my impact driver to get this nut off. This is a self-locking nut, I can see that, and I'm hoping this is not reverse threaded, and it's not. Okay, so now I was able to get that nut off. What I should be able to do is use my lifting ring as a puller. Alright, so the genuine flywheel puller that I saw online, or at least I don't know if it's genuine or the one that somebody's selling online, basically threads into the top just like the lifting ring here does. The difference is it's got a hole going down through the middle with a bolt threaded into it. So you would actually just screw this in, and then as you tighten this bolt, the bolt would push down on the center of the crankshaft there, and that would drive the flywheel, pull the flywheel up. I should be able to do the same thing because I don't have a hole going all the way through, but if I put a spacer, I just got this chunk of junk metal from my stuff here, if I put this spacer in here on top, and then if I thread this down, it's a little tricky to get the threads started. They're such fine threads. Somebody did such a great job making these threads on the lathe. They're a very close fit. Anyways, anywho, when I eventually get this started, what should happen in theory is this should end up pushing down on that piece of metal that will push on the end of the crankshaft, and since it has no place it can go, I should actually start to exert force, lifting force on this flywheel and pop it loose. I think the problem is I think this piece that I have here is a little too long. There we go. I believe that's bottomed out there, so now I'm just going to bar to stick through there. And I'm going to have to figure out a way to hold that flywheel from turning now that I think of it. That's going to be a problem. It actually came off very easily. Oh, I spoke too soon. Is it the magnetic attraction of the it's the magnetic attraction that's actually holding it. What the heck is what's going on here? Oh, idiot. It's the timing belt. I forgot about the timing belt. Timing belt on the distributor over here goes, yeah, I was supposed to make sure I knew exactly. I think I just screwed up. Ow! Bit me. Stinker. Well, as long as the belt is tight, and tight being a relative term, I can see that I'm not going to be able to get this off. Because the pulley that the belt goes on underneath there has got sheaves on it just like this pulley. So if I take the belt off of this pulley, that'll allow the belt to slacken enough and move out of the way so I can take that off. The other possibility is there's a little bolt on the top here. I could take that little bolt out and that might allow me to take this pulley off on the top of the distributor. The problem with that is that I really can't move this out of the way unless I already have the flywheel off. So that makes me think that's not how you're supposed to go out doing it. There's also no mechanism to slacken the belt tension or tighten it from what I can see. This This is one of the mounting bolts right here for the distributor, and the other one's right here. And I just looked and I don't see any slotted. It's not like that's a slotted hole that would allow that to. So I don't know. Aha! Mystery of the timing belt is solved. Okay, so this little tiny bolt on the top here is 5/16. Doesn't seem like it could really do much, but what it does is it actually holds this top plate on, so that you can actually, this is a two-part pulley, two-piece pulley. So by taking this top plate off, I'll be able to slide the belt off of this pulley on the distributor. So I didn't have to loosen the distributor at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to tighten the distributor back up only because I don't want to forget that I loosened it. So I'll take that off and voila. That comes off. There's actually a hole. There's a pin on the top that the hole goes in, so even that goes on a very specific way. It'll go on that one way. So now I can just pop the belt right off, like so. Now that I've done that, I should be able to get the belt to move out of the way enough to release the flywheel. Oops. It's just a big washer. Everyone relax. Alright. Cool beans. So I didn't take note of how the flywheel was on there because I just assumed that this was going to be a keyed shaft and that the flywheel could only go on one way. Now that I have this off and I'm looking at this, I can clearly see that it's a spline shaft. It's a spline shaft they stuck in there. Alright, so I'm going to get this belt out now. There's, well, no, I'm going to leave it right there because I just realized this is kind of a tight, nasty fit. Matter of fact, you can't get it out. You can't get the belt out without taking this alternator off. So that's what I'm going to do next. And we got 4 little hex screws in there. Alright, hopefully no more surprises taking this off. Looks like it's just these 4 Allen head cap screws. As far as orientation, noting which way this goes on, not sure if there's other ways this could possibly go on, but I don't think I have to worry about it because I know that the wire coming out of the stator, or the alternator I should say, is on this side right here and comes right down to the terminal block. So that's how I'll know which way to put it back on. And once I lift this out of the way, I think the belt will come off easily. There's grease all over those splines on the top of the crankshaft here. That's why that flywheel came off so easily. I don't even think I needed a puller at all. I think I could have just taken that, and once I had that nut off, I probably could have just pulled it right off. Makes me wonder if on later years, if they change. You know what, I bet? See, on later years, they changed this design. They did away with this drive belt going to an alternator over here altogether. So I would be willing to bet that on those later years, they went to a regular keyed press fit of the flywheel onto the crankshaft. So there's our stator or our alternator. Once I lift that off, now I can lift the belt free and not get any of that grease. And wow, that looks like the upper bearing right there. Huh. We got just a matter of taking these 4 bolts out to take that whole upper seal out. Huh, interesting. Makes you wonder whether or not that's something you should do while you're at this point. Might be a cheap enough part. Then again, could be just Opening up a nasty kettle of fish doing that, right? Alright, looking at this belt, it's glazed. And definitely looks like it could stand for replacement. So that belt, I think I'll see if I can get one of those. Alright, enough looking at that for now. But that really bugs me now, that when I put that flywheel back on, I'll probably be able to put it on any number of different positions. So I'm going to have to make sure number one cylinder's at top dead center and align it that way, I guess. Alright, so now I get this off, which is what I mainly wanted to do tonight. And I guess I'll clean a little space over on that pigsty of a workbench and start looking at this thing.